on? You're live.
Well, great. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Unite Norman Media Outreach. This is our bigger group than usual. You okay? Anyone coming on yet?
You got two watching.
We have two watching. Hello. Say hello. Let us know. Can you hear us okay? Is our audio working? Mic working? No words. I could be Russ and call my mommy.
We got 12 on now.
We have 12 on. That's fast. My phone over there? I probably don't need it. I shouldn't have it.
Oh, wow. Look at the phone.
Alyssa, you can hear us all right?
Yes, Alyssa, let us know. Hey, babe. We're good? I tried to call you back.
Go ahead.
Okay, are we starting? Okay. You want me to get started on what we're
Go
doing?
ahead, yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Denise Sober. I'm excited to be here today. Like I said earlier, we're on a different page. We're usually on our little private Unite Norman page, but we wanted to open this up to everybody in Ward 3 and really anyone who wanted to tune in today. To give Sassan a platform to talk, discuss the issues that are happening in Ward 3. The plan for the evening is to do an interview type discussion, and then at the end we want to take your questions. We want respectful questions, and we want questions that pertain to Ward 3. This is a very strategic discussion about just Ward 3 issues. We're going to clear up some misconceptions, misinformation, concerns, rumors, all the things that are taking away from both candidates' campaigns right now, so that they can just go forward and everyone can just research the candidate and decide which one is best for them. Yeah, so that's the plan for today. I'm here to be a neutral moderator. I am not in Ward 3, so I do not have a vote in this. I am just here basically to support Sassan. Make sure you get to say what you want to say. I love Sam and Lisa, and I've gotten to know Kelly Lynn in the last, month or two, and I respect him a lot too. So, anything you want to say before we
Well, you referred to Ward 3 as two candidates. There's actually three, but since we're in a lawsuit with one and we know we're going to win, we don't really consider one of the candidates as a viable candidate. So we don't even really consider Ward 3 as having three. But it is what it is, and she's running, and we got our day in court next week, and we'll see who will walk out with their head up. But we're pretty confident that we have lots of signatures and be representing you guys that took the time and came out and took charge of your city. So we'll be there fighting for us, for you, and for the future of our city.
So you're saying, whoopsie, the recall's not quite over?
No, I can wait to use that term when we hear the outcome. So
We'll be ready for that next week. Awesome. Well, let's get started.
Go ahead.
You good? I think we'll just start with the base. Can you just explain your relationship for anyone who doesn't know, isn't aware, with Sam Talley, who is a candidate for Ward 3?
Sam Talley is my son-in-law, one of the finest individual you can find, well-educated, great family. Sam's been in my daughter's life since high school, and I'm proud that he is my son-in-law. He's an excellent husband and a beautiful dad to his kids. So they got great family, and he is a formidable candidate in Ward 3. I will tell you, anybody that knows Sam's wife, my daughter Lisa, I will tell you that the better Talley did not run, or the stronger Talley didn't run. And I hope Sam doesn't take this as the wrong way. It's a compliment to my daughter. And there's been rumors about my daughter, not rumors, but I guess misinformation, that, you know, she is, she works for me or with me. If you guys pay a little bit of attention, Lisa owns a company called Aria Real Estate Group. She is in real estate, probably now the largest real estate company in Norman, and she has over 40-something agents work for her. She was a broker when she was 25 years old, and nothing was handed to her, and she's earned everything she has. And today I hold my head up and say I'm Lisa's dad. She used to be Sassan's daughter, and today she's, you know, I'm Lisa's dad. So anyway, I own Aria Development. We're in commercial real estate development. We develop our own projects, and that's why when I decided to run, and not run, but help start United Norman, I made a decision that they can't hurt me. I am my own client. So for that reason, and being toward the end of my career in life, I decided that it was time for some of us to step up and give back to our city. There is not, like what I've been accused of, it's kind of funny, but I have never benefited a dime from City of Norman. I've been in lawsuits with City of Norman. I've been to the state Supreme Court in zoning issues against City of Norman, and most of my projects I've fought to get them zoned and platted and built. And so I'm not I don't have anybody in my back pocket, and there's no special interest group, as the folks like to call people in general. I like to know who these people are that are in special interest groups, but I am.
You lead all of them. You
well,
volunteer all of them. Did you?
I've heard that I've got so much power, and I just sit there and laugh. I wish I had 1/10 of the power and the money that people think I have, but I don't dispute it, so I let them go and have their fun. But we sure have a lot of laughs about some of the things that have been said. So I thought I would open this up. I wanted to clear the air about my son-in-law, about my daughter, about myself, and why we ended up supporting a different candidate than my own son-in-law.
And you wanted to make sure that people understood that Aria Development is a different company than Aria Real Estate.
Yeah, I would encourage you to come after Aria Development if you're going to come after anybody, because going after Aria Real Estate, you're picking on someone just way out of your league, and because you don't want to mess with my daughter. She's a fighter. You think I'm bad? Yeah, I wouldn't mess with her. So.
Yeah. I worked with Lisa when there was just 4 of us. It was
That's right.
us on Main Street, and she has grown it to much more than 4 of us. So it's pretty incredible what she's done. She's a strong businesswoman in this community, and you have been her biggest cheerleader all along the way.
Every step of the way I have been, and I still am, and always will be. So she's pretty unique.
Yes.
And most of the people that are around her will testify to that. So.
Yeah. Did you want to discuss what Aria means? You mentioned that.
I let them pull it up on Google.
Google that.
Yeah.
Google that. So you've now.
But it goes back to my heritage from Iran. I'm from Iran. I was born in Iran and came to the United States in 1975. Studied mechanical engineering. I'm not a political scientist. I am not a scientist, but I'm an engineer by education, and I kind of like to poke fun at that political scientist thing. You know, a lot of people that are not real doctors and put doctors in front of their names and they introduce themselves as doctors. Most doctors don't introduce themselves as doctors, but anyway.
Yeah, the two. And the pooper scooper.
And a pooper scooper, yeah.
Okay. So let's move to Kelly Lynn. When did you first meet? You've known Sam forever. When did you first meet Kelly Lynn?
I met Kelly. I had lunch with Kelly and his wife about first part of October. We had in our social media, we actually kept encouraging people to run for council offices, and I got a message that there's a gentleman named Kelly Lynn. Actually, I thought it was a girl first when I saw the message, but that he's an attorney here in Norman and wanted to run for Ward 3. And at that time, I think October 1, Sam or Tally family had not announced that which one was going to run, but at some point they were going to make a decision. And Kelly went ahead and stepped up to our calls for qualified candidates, and so I wanted to meet with him. Russ wanted to meet with him, so Russ, Kendra, and I met with Kelly and his wife and had lunch at Charleston's, and that was the first time I met Kelly. We discussed Sam. He knew who Sam was, and I said potentially they could run, and he was okay with that, and that was it.
Yep.
And until we did our interview with him here, did our Facebook Live, and that was the second time I actually got to be around Kelly.
Yeah, we didn't even speak with them. What was your involvement with Sam during Unite Norman and his campaign? And when I say during Unite Norman, I mean the summer months when it was intense and we were
The summer
gathering
months,
signatures.
of course, our task at hand was to get signatures and get all of the council members that we could in the mayor for recall, and we had volunteers everywhere, and it's probably one of the most interesting stories that if I ever wrote a book, which probably really not be interesting enough for my life to write a book, but that's probably going to be one of the highlights of my life, is that to see the people with the passion that they came out and helped as our volunteers. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of volunteers going and knocking doors in the heat of summer, and they were angry. They were more angry with themselves than they were with the actions of our council, and interestingly enough, they were mad at themselves because they'd been asleep. And the majority of them would tell me, I woke up one day and go, what the hell happened to my city? And who do I have to mind for except myself? And most of them that I would talk to on one-on-one, they would say, please don't let us fall asleep again. And part of the reason that I do what I do, I'm trying to keep people motivated and informed and with facts rather than mudslinging and just accusing people of things. But and hopefully it's working, and we'll have a great turnout comes February 9th, and we'll hopefully make a big change in the direction that our city needs to be going rather than where it's been going.
Change the trajectory a little bit.
I can't say trajectory or putting people in my crosshairs, because then as a hunter.
That's going to come back.
Anyway, but yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
I am a hunter, and also I'm a conservationist. My passion right now is to build a museum here in Norman that I can teach kids about conservation and the role hunters play in the whole system, ecosystem, and how important of the role we play in making sure that they're protected. So.
Very good. So Can you talk a little bit about both Sam and Kelly Lynn's involvement during the petition gathering?
Yes, Sam did not have any involvement. I think Lisa signed the petition and attended one of our meetings. There was no financial contribution from either side. Sam did not attend any of our meetings. And at the time, the conversations that I've had with Sam was related more to running for mayor, and that the platform for that would be more of a council first for about a year and then jump into the mayor race. So, you know, Sam has his beliefs and it's to be respected. Was disappointing because we had thousands and thousands and thousands of people, 22,000 on the mayor's signature, or 20,460, something like that, that signed a petition in support of changing the course of our city. And we didn't have that from, or I didn't have that from Sam, which was very noticeable in our core group and amongst our volunteers. I could hear questions and comments here and there about that. But you know, my task at hand was to navigate the ship and make sure that alongside of my co-captain Russ, we can get to our destination. So. With Kelly, I met Kelly, or I ran across Kelly. I really didn't meet him in one of our volunteer group gatherings before we sent him off to, and I just remember him as a volunteer. That's all.
Yeah.
I never was introduced to him directly during that time.
But he was out during that time. And just
Yeah, he was one of our volunteers, signature door knockers, what as part of that squad was called.
And just to clarify, since we're not just talking to our Unite Norman group. When we talked about getting the petitions for recall, the purpose of that was to put it on a ballot. The signatures for the recall did not guarantee that the person would be taken off of council. So the purpose of Unite Norman was just to get the voice of the people heard, so that we could say we want to bring it to all of Norman.
Yeah, let me mention something about that. There was so much misinformation from the other side that did not want the petition going, as that we are anti-mask, which had nothing to do, our movement had nothing to do with masks.
We actually required masks. If you were going to door knock or work a tent, you had to wear
and that we were going against the will of the people. And we were kind of scratching our heads and going, okay, the will of people is to vote and get elected officials in, but it's also provided that when the elected officials don't do what they're supposed to do, under the same laws that they protect their elected officials to be in place, it's also provided for them to be removed. And they liked the first part of the equation, but they really hated the second part, and it became a pretty contentious issue that we were you know, this mudslinging and name calling that we were hate group. Yeah. And I'm going, you know, exercising our rights, and when did that become a hate issue? So we prevailed. You know, we showed that there's at least 20,000 plus people in this town that don't approve of a mayor's performance, and we got more signatures on every ward that we were trying to do a recall by multiple folds than what the person that we were seeking to remove from the office in multiple folds in recall signatures. And we were not successful in all of them simply because harassment and misinformation, COVID, summertime, a lot of people were not even at the threshold that was set so high. But let me tell you, we won, and we see the results of it every day as where we are today and where we were about 7-8 months ago. So it's a journey, and it takes time. Wheels of justice doesn't turn real fast, but you know, we're committed, and we are gonna make a change, whether they like it or not. This train has left the station.
Yes. And February 9th, everyone needs to remember to vote, regardless of who you're voting for. The will of the people of Norman will speak, and so we need everyone February 9th to go out and vote for who you believe is the best candidate.
Absolutely.
Without groupthink of choosing people because they were or were not endorsed by a group, but because you think that's the person that most represents your values and where you want the city to go.
Well said.
Okay, so important. Can you address the rumor that Unite Norman specifically went out and recruited people, or to be very specific, that you went out and recruited Kelly Lynn to run, or that anyone really in Unite Norman recruited Kelly Lynn to run?
Well, again, you know, what I remember is that, first of all, I thought Kelly Lynn was a girl. And second, the second time I met him was right in front of this camera. And why would I want to go find someone to run against my own son-in-law? When we did the interview with Sam, he was reluctant to be associated with Unite Norman. That's why he demanded not to meet here like everybody else did, and that he demanded that we would have Patron and Kelly Lynn there. And I said, listen, this is not a debate. This is just to introduce the potential candidates or the candidates, and you know, so we compromised and we met at my office, and the rest was a fiasco of an interview or the 1 hour show that was put on. But
Tensions were a little high that night.
anyway, that's
So there was no recruitment.
there was no recruitment, and there was a general call to everybody, hey, we need qualified candidates, and we were open and honest about it. Unlike what we were accused of, we weren't puppeteers, and we didn't have all these people in our back pockets, and we were just gonna, you know, throw the cards out there and take over the council and this and that. So one by one started to show up, and you know, we invited all 17 candidates that had filed for all 5 boards.
You did.
And you guys have been a part of every one of those that accepted and showed up. So, and what I do remember is, I believe Sam went first, and then the following night we met Kelly here, and I was very honest and open about telling Kelly my wish was at the time for my son-in-law to be the council member or representative of Ward 3. But I also committed to him that I would be behind the best candidate once we figure out who that best candidate is. And but you know, of course, I would want someone that I've seen grow up in front of my own eyes and been he's a father to my 3 grandkids, and he's been a wonderful husband to my daughter. Why would I not want him? And you know, people out of hate, they don't even think when it's rushing to their brains. Well, he's going to have his son-in-law up there voting for him. Come on, he's an attorney. He's a smart individual, and anybody that has any relationship with the applicant that comes in front of council, they have to recuse themselves. And why would I want to put someone out there that I already know I can't get a yes or no out of that candidate? That's silly. I don't have any properties that have not been zoned. Hate to disappoint this council, and even if I did, I wouldn't be afraid of bringing it over, because I can either get it zoned in front of them on a fair basis, or I'll be at the courthouse steps the next day, getting it done. So
yes, so we did not recruit Kelly Lynn.
we did not.
That did not happen. You also, like you just said, you're not playing chess. You're not you did not have a plan for a specific amount of people or specific people to come in and take seats. We did an all call for anyone interested, and you met with all of them who were interested and fleshed out and interviewed them in front of live camera. Things weren't happening behind the scenes.
Not just, we have a core group of us that have been there fighting this fight from day one, and we, based on our availability, we all participated in deciding who those candidates are and who is closest to our core values and who's going to be the best representative for that ward in that council to change this, to get rid of this cancer on our people's chamber, this cancer called socialism. And who's going to be the best fighter out there and know what's best to move the city forward and make us prosperous. And so we all took part in that, and it wasn't my decision. I've always said I'm 100% behind the best candidate, but it is, I only have one vote out of our group of 9. And that's how we ended up with Ward 3 with Kelly Lynn as Ward 3 candidate. We had a vote of 9 people, and I abstained because either way that I voted, I would lose, and I still ended up losing. So, so I abstained, and the vote was 62, and for Kelly, and that's what our commitment was to the best candidate. If they move forward, they get a fair shot. And we're not politicians. We don't play games. None of us have is part of this special interest group that performs magic and voodoo and has ill thoughts about raping and pillaging this town of ours. Instead, we have a lot of people that are from all over different parts of Norman, different class of education, but they all have one thing in common. They love this city, and they're willing to stick their necks out for betterment of this community. And I'm proud, damn proud of every one of them. So.
And we do, you mentioned the committee. There's a committee of people who voted. I just want to clarify. You said this, but I want to make sure it's very clear, because I have sat in and I've heard this for 6 months. You've always said Norman is your number one. What's best for Norman is the direction you will go. And you've always said, I hope it's Sam. Mm-hmm. You've said that. You've said it to the camera. You've said it to all of us. And you have said that you want it to be Sam, but if the committee, who is a representation across different wards, different genders, different backgrounds, if they choose someone else, that you will, as a member of Unite Norman, support that person.
Absolutely. And our mission is to get rid of this cancer that we all are dealing with. And whether it's Kelly or Sam, I've always said and written, that they're both excellent candidates. We're not philosophically or politically or whatever you want to call it. We're not that different. Sam has roots in Norman, goes back generations, and this is his hometown. And his family has proven to be wonderful members of this community. And I wish Sam's dad was still alive and would be proud of what Sam has turned out to be. And you know, in the bigger picture, and in the best interest of our city, I'm not saying we're right or wrong, but based on the information that we had, we made the best decision that we could, trying to pick out the best candidate that we felt like would represent the best interest of Ward 3. Period.
Yes, and Unite Norman's been very clear on what our stances and our issues are, and the committee felt like Kelly Lynn represented that.
Like I said, we chose the candidates that we felt like, as a group, as a cohesive group, as a diverse group, that those candidates are the best representative, first for their wards, and then are closest to our core values, is who we would want to support.
That's right. And so you mentioned the vote, the committee vote, and I just want to reiterate this. You did abstain from that.
I did.
You did not vote for Kelly Lynn or Sam. You did abstain from that vote.
I did.
And that was the right move. And I just want to make sure that's very clear.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, did you take any hard conversations with people in Unite Norman regarding Sam and Kelly and people being frustrated with your neutrality or
Like I said, Denise, you know, the decision was not easy, and either if I would have, if we would be sitting here trying to defend my decision if I would have endorsed Sam.
Right.
If I would have turned him down, we would be sitting and defending that decision. So, you know, it's an interesting place to be. But I've always been, you know, true to what I believe in, and in my heart of hearts, I felt like Sam is a great candidate, and we would get behind Sam if Kelly cannot pull it off. And I'll ask our core group to support Sam, because again, our mission is to get rid of this cancer, and we don't always have. I wish we all had a crystal ball and we could see in the future, but we made the decision that we did based on what we knew was best for Norman, first and foremost. And everyone in that committee has a lot of integrity and honesty, and that's why we have gelled so well. And it's you know, it's not a good place to be, but you know, we all made the right decision, and we're gonna move forward. That the whole idea about tonight was, let's clear the air and quit bickering. And I wish Sam was here. I wish Kelly was here, but I felt like having this conversation with Kelly alone would not be fair. But Sam chose not to be a part of it. So I felt like this would be about as fair of a venue to talk about that and say, you know, I love the man. He's not a kid. I love the man, and I love the husband and the father that he is, and I'll support him 100% in I have in the past, and I will in the future. But we felt like, as a group, we felt like Kelly was a better candidate.
Absolutely. So, and really one of the reasons we're doing this is it's been such a conversation. I mean, I can't walk through church without somebody asking me personally what's going on with.
Well, it's a conspiracy theory. Let me tell you, if somebody's sitting out there, we are moving,
Yeah.
you know, these chess pieces around, and our strategy was from the very beginning to do this with Sam, and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, so we just need to clear the air because we really want everyone in Norman to move past this, research Sam, research Kelly, and pick the candidate that most aligns with your values in the direction you want the city to go. That's the whole purpose of tonight. On that note, we've had a lot of questions about have we asked one or the other to concede? Is that something you're comfortable
well,
addressing?
I haven't directly asked anybody to concede, but, you know, we all can do math, and when there's, you know, three people in a race for council, there's gonna be a runoff. And, our job is to continue to push, the recall that came first, and we're confident we can take care of that. But just in case, that doesn't happen, there could be a runoff, and, or we could be totally wrong, and Sam could get over 51%, Kelly could get over 51%, and if Patron gets over 51%, we all got to move out of Norman. So, anyway, yes, I have. I posed a hypothetical question to Sam, which, you know, it went through Lisa because, you know, for whatever reasons, we're not communicating. But and I posed the same question to Kelly, and Kelly said, absolutely, you know, for the good of the ward and your family, I'll step aside. And he was ready to. I said, "Oh, wait a minute, that's hypothetical." And you know, the answer from Sam's side was that we got too much invested in time and energy and resources. So that's where I left it.
Well, I'll just say that personally, I've been involved with Unite Norman from the very beginning. We've been friends for 10 years, and we were friends before this started. I remember in June when you were talking about this stuff, and I kept saying, quit talking about politics.
It started right here.
Yes.
Right in that
Right
chair.
here. And I'm like, wait, why do we have to talk about politics all the time? But here we are. That's 90% of our conversation
Right.
now is politics, but that's okay. But I've watched you handle everything with love of your family always comes first for you. Lisa is your world. There's
Absolutely.
no surprise there. If you live in Norman, you know Lisa is Sassan's world. Love for Norman, the city. You know, I won't get started talking about, but if you talk about your life in Iran and what it meant for you to come here and what you saw happen in Iran, you understand who you are better and why you're fighting this fight.
Well, you know, when you've lived the and seen the end of the story, and you see it replay, you know how the movie's going to end. And I've seen it, I've lived it, and I'll tell you a funny story. In 1980, when hostages were in the embassy, I went to get a building permit at City Hall. We had started a home building company, and I was told that they wouldn't issue a permit until I released the hostages. And I said, well, hand me the damn phone so I can call Ayatollah Khomeini and have him release the hostages. I said, what part of that I live here in the United States you don't understand? I've chosen to live here because of getting away from all of that. And so this is my way of giving back to this community, to this city that has given me so much. Even during those times that there was a lot of hatred toward and resentment toward Iran and Iranian, there was a lot of good people in this town that pulled me over and assured me that everything was going to be okay and were supportive. So I love this town. This is a town that my kids have grown up and my grandkids are growing up. And I want them to experience the same thing for their kids and their grandkids. And this is my way of giving back for what everything I received. So.
Well, I'll just say I've watched you handle everything that's been thrown at us in the last 6 to 8 months with integrity and honor, love of family, love of Norman, and
Thank you. I'll try.
Is there anything you want to say before we open it up to?
No, I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk about, so,
Do we have questions?
how many questions do
I
we
can
have?
only imagine.
We have no questions pertaining to Ward 3.
Oh, really? I thought I made it very
Do
clear
we have-
that,
do we have some luck?
you know, listen, guys, there's 5 wards. Every candidate that we have picked are quality candidates, and they deserve your attention if you live in those wards. And please evaluate who you're voting for, but do vote, get out and vote. And I don't want to be here all night answering questions about this and that, but tonight was if this is a forum that you like, we will open it up to each ward. But about me, my development, being an evil developer in this town, I'll tell you stories. And
I think that's a main question is,
okay.
you're trying to push a pro-developer type council for maybe Ward 3, and that you have some type of vested interest in Ward 3 with these council people that are gonna be running, and you can answer that.
Really?
I mean, I don't think Kelly's anybody's man, and we know that Sam's not anybody's man, and
Yeah,
Allison is definitely not.
if Sam was in my back pocket, I wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
And I didn't know Kelly till about 1st of October. They're both people of integrity, and I have said either one of them would make a great candidate. And listen, I've developed in this town and built in this town for 40 years. You really think after 40 years I'm going to try to become a puppeteer? I have a lot of vested interest in conservation that I would like to do in Africa. But I put that on hold for this. And I've made my fortune. I don't need any more. I could never spend what I have. You call me arrogant or being braggart, but I'm proud of what I've done. You can call me an evil developer all you want, but I invite you to go in front of one of my projects on 24th Street. Travel or drive between Main Street and Robinson on 24th, and stop in front of 480 24th Avenue. That's the only part of 24th Avenue that has not been widened. And it is out of the hatred of a public works director toward me that I've widened my side of the street, but the east side of 24th hasn't been widened. It's one of the largest buildings in Norman. And you know, if I had that much power in Norman, that thing would have been widened a long time ago. It's a traffic hazard. And I've complained to all the council members over the years, and it still hadn't been done. So if you guys think that I have that much power, I wish I did.
And how much money would you get, even if they widen it? That doesn't,
Well, I've done my
right.
part.
It doesn't even.
It's not the matter of money, it's
Right.
the matter of public safety. You cannot turn left into Madison Square if you're going north. Again, there's a 5-lane street between Main and Robinson, and ironically, the only part that's not widened is in front of my property, so go figure. Anyway.
And how often do you go in front of the council? In the last 2 years, how many
Yeah,
times have you had to go
I
in
mean,
front of- They act like you are in front of the council
Let-
every week. with
Let
something.
me tell you
Yeah.
something. The last few projects that I have done has been in Chickasha, has been in Edmond, has been in Yukon, Oklahoma City, has not been in Norman. The only projects that I've done in Norman are interior little garden offices and projects that we started in '07, like 36 North. So if you think I need the council to do anything in this town, I can get it done, through court systems. I don't need to put people on council.
Okay, so anything else? Are we good?
Nope, no questions.
That's it.
I mean, that was pretty
That's
much
it.
it. Everyone's
Oh, wow.
picture the evil developer.
I am, well, you know,
You're a terrible man.
again, it's easy to label people. We've been labeled fascists, white supremacists, really, guys, you know, that's the best you can do, call me white supremacist. I'm from Iran. I'm a brown guy, you know, and how the hell am I a white supremacist? And
You're an immigrant.
and I'm an immigrant.
Came over with nothing.
I'm part of the people you're supposed, you know, you carry the flag for, and you say we have to be an inclusive society, but you attack the one that has contributed to this society in sales tax and property tax, that subdivision that more than likely you live in, the very clinic that you seek to get medical health in, the restaurant that you eat in, and you call me an evil developer. You know, maybe I am evil because I took a chance and you didn't. And now you're you know, red with envy that some damn foreigner could come into this country and be successful, and you're still sitting on your ass and trying to be a quarterback on Monday morning. What I have to say about that, get out and do something. Put some people to work. Your philosophies are not helping anybody. They've made our city bankrupt. We're broke. And you still brag about being a economic professor. And you got followers that blindly follow you. And there's nobody brave enough to take you on. Well, let me tell you, I am, okay? And I'm not the new sheriff in town. I'm just a poor, struggling immigrant trying to make a living in this country. And I'm better than you are because I've proven it. And so, like I said, Ms. Rogers, your 15 minutes of fame is over. We are going to hit you guys with legal actions, with civil actions, and with criminal actions. Just wait and see what's coming, okay? This town is going to be cleaned up one way or the other. And we have the means, we have the people with good hearts to do it, and watch what happens February 9th.
Everybody vote February 9th. Research all your candidates, pick the one that most aligns with you, and let's let we, the people of Norman, decide who we want to represent us. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we will probably be back at some point. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
This is fun.
Thank you.